Okay, so this week, working on the BSA. This should be the weekend we start it. I know you guys are looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. It's been a lot of work, but we've got all of our wiring done, new wiring harness that we showed on last week's video. And we cleaned up all the tools and everything. So we're getting really close to being able to fire this thing off. I got to put the gas tank back on, get some fuel hooked up to it. I'm going to leave this side cover off at a minimum. Might leave them both off until I get it fired, but I'm going to leave this one off to make sure we're charging correctly. But all the wiring is working, so everything should work. Bike should fire and should run. So anyway, come along for the journey. Today's video should be a lot shorter than the last one. It was over 2 hours because I was just letting the thing run and focusing on trying to get the wiring done and get the work done. So this one's going to be a little shorter. I'm going to cut it and you'll just see it back with the tank on, so on and so forth, getting ready to fire up. Hopefully we'll fire this thing off and everything goes according to plan. If not, then we'll have to step back and reevaluate. But anyway, we'll get going on it and let's get into it. Okay, so we got this thing full of oil. We primed the oil pump. I was going to pull the front little thing off here and squirt a bunch of oil in there and prime it that way. But you know what? I said, let me just go ahead and pull the plugs and I'll just kick the snot out of it until I see return oil. So that's basically what I did. I didn't have to use the Kickstarter or kick it, head up on the lift with the plugs out. There's no compression. You could just, work the Kickstarter until such time as it does what it needs to do. And I could actually see the oil returning to the oil tank. So did that. Then the other thing that I did was I went ahead and checked for spark. Make sure we had that part of it wired correctly, that it was actually sparking and doing the things it was supposed to do. Everything's working fine. It's sparking. We've got oil returning to the tank. So the oil pump is primed. So for all intents and purposes, it should run once we put the tank on, get fuel to it. And then I'll want to test to make sure that we're getting the appropriate charge coming out of the stator. So we'll do that. But anyway, so next is put the tank on, put the seat on, all that fun stuff. Not going to bore you guys with that. So I'll bring you guys back once I have all that stuff on and we're ready to kick this thing off. Fingers crossed. All right, y'all. This is kind of what we've been waiting for. Got the bike put back together, got it off the lift. And so what we're going to do is we're going to try and see if we can get this thing to start. I got the oil cap off because I want to be able to look in there, make sure the oil's circulating. So let's pull the petcocks here and give it a little tickle and see if we can get this thing to fire off. Left side open, right side's open. Just give the carburetor a little tickle. Tickle it till we get some gas. There we go, got a little gas flowing. All right, turn our ignition on. Let's fire it off and see what we can do. That's a cold start, y'all. See that? I have not done anything with this, so that fired right off quick. That was pretty nice. Make sure I got my flashlight right here. Yep. connection won't go. Huh. I don't want to flood it. Hopefully we won't have that situation going. I don't want to start. It must be flooding. Shut the petcocks for a minute. Breathe a little. Well, I'll pull the plugs and bring you guys back, see if this thing's flooding. All right, well, got the bike back up on the lift, pointed the other direction because I'm not working where I was this before, but tried kickstarting the thing off camera. And what I found was I could tickle the carburetor a whole bunch, kick it. Every time I did that, it would run for a very short time and it would die. So I tickled it for a real long time. One time, kicked it over and it ran for like 4 or 5 seconds. I know it doesn't sound like a long time, but it was running and it started to rev and everything. But then it dies. So it's acting like it's getting fuel starved. Like, whatever little gas you can get in the bowl, it runs through it, and then that's that, and it won't continue to run. So what I'm going to do is I don't have a carburetor rebuild kit for this carb. May order one this coming week, but I figure, what have I got to lose? I think, it comes down to we've got a fuel delivery problem. Because we've got spark, timing's right, because when it runs, it runs good. So I don't think that's the problem. I think everything's going okay. We just have like I say, a fuel delivery problem to the carburetor, getting the fuel through the carburetor into the engine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this stuff off and I'll bring you guys back. But what I'm trying to do is establish, do I have good fuel flow through the petcocks coming out the fuel lines to the carburetor? If I have good fuel flow there, the next thing is the carburetor itself. And then I may drop the bowl and try and do a little cleaning of the jets and whatnot just to see if that'll get me there. It might leak without a carburetor kit and fresh gaskets, but what do you got to lose at this point if I have to order one anyway? So that's kind of the plan. That's how I'm going to attack it. First things first, get the side covers off again, and let's see if these fuel hoses are actually flowing fuel from the petcocks down to the carburetor. All right, so checked a couple of things. First thing I checked was flow from this petcock through the line to the carburetor. It's flowing, not a problem with that one. Check the one on the other side, the other petcock, there's no fuel flowing through it. Now they both go to the same carburetor bowl, so that shouldn't be the reason it doesn't run, but still it's something I'd like to resolve. So I'm gonna pull the hose off or the line off on that side and see if we can see what's going on with that petcock, blow some air back through it, something like that. Try and come up with exactly what's going on there. So we'll try and figure that out. And then I'll probably move to the carburetor and make sure we start clearing out some jets and whatnot there. So let me do that and I'll bring you guys back. All right, so established a couple of things. One, the left side petcock is plugged up and that's going to have to be fixed, but the right side petcock is flowing. You should fill the bowl enough to run the bike. So I cleared out some jets, did a little cleaning, did what I could without a carb rebuild kit. So got that done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my oil cap off just so I can see it circulate. Still have to see that. See, it's circulating some, but I want to make sure it's circulating good. We're going to try and fire this thing up. Not going to run it long because I spilled some gas here and don't want to set the whole garage on fire. But I want to see if we can pop it off and get it to run for more than just a few seconds. So let's see what it happens when we try this. Let's open up that petcock. Ignition on. Give it a good tickle. All right, let's see what it does. She tried. I was hitting on one maybe. I was hitting on two earlier, so man, knocked something loose while I was working on it. Oh, I know what it is. Shoot, I remember now. I took one of the coil wires off. That's right. It was in my way. Turn that off. Turn that off. That's why it's only hitting on one. The things you forget. Yep, it'll definitely run better with both coils hooked up. So what we're going to do, put that side cover back on. We'll do that after we get her started here. But she should run. So let's see. One more time. Breathe a minute. And of course, I'll have a flashlight when I get it running. One more time. should just almost go. Not quite. Definitely gonna have to rebuild this carburetor. And both these petcocks probably. All right. All right, we're gonna call that good for today. Put the side covers back on. Looks like I'm gonna have to rebuild the carburetor on it and either replace or rebuild the existing petcocks. Maybe clean out the tank a little bit, but as you can see, it runs. Needs a little tuning, so work left to do. But anyway, it's a lot of progress. We know we got a good running bike. Just more fine tuning to do, and that'll be maybe next weekend's video. Anyway, appreciate you guys tuning in.